I don't know, I could freestyle, but I don't know how to rap. Here, I'll start freestyling. There is your freestyle. There is your freestyle. Congrats. The musical stylings of whatever the hell my name is.
Ladies and gentlemen,
welcome
back to the Midwest Basement Escape, episode 9. It's almost 9 at this point.
Oh no, this is 8.
We did just record half an episode.
Dude, don't even mention it. You know what? Apple, you.
Oh,
you, buddy. No, actually, it was my fault. Remember?
Yeah, it was your fault.
It was entirely my fault.
Well, we're gonna blame it on Apple, anyways.
Basically, we just recorded half an hour of the podcast, and there was this beep. I don't know where the beeping.
It was my computer. I got a text, and my computer was going.
Oh, and I got up and I checked the phone, and I pulled the control center and the notification center down, and it stopped the video. So.
Yeah, so we lost a lot of the podcast.
We got about 1 minute and 30 and half an hour of voices. So
yeah, and I just deleted all of that voices because I was like,
it wasn't that great. We talked a lot about Fortnite.
We did talk a lot about Fortnite, which was interesting.
Well, what they're doing is interesting.
It is, yeah. We didn't just talk about Fortnite. We talked about the business and the collabs and the history of video games and all that, which was. I thought it was actually a very interesting topic, but
down to Atari.
It's gone now.
And we were talking about the childhoods. And shit.
It's gone now. It's over.
It doesn't matter. I'll give you a preview. Guitar Hero, Legos,
Minecraft.
Not a preview, but a summary.
Summary.
Atari, Mario Kart, Bingo.
Yeah.
Yeah, include Bingo in there too. Yeah.
Bingo. Yeah, that was in there. But yeah, so
yeah,
I guess we just start how we always start
with the
welcome to the biggest best escape of all time.
Yep.
I don't know. It wasn't
the greatest podcast in the world.
Yes, the best podcast in the world.
The Midwest
Basement Escape.
Where
your host Michael
and George,
my friend
George.
Did it
background. You did it backwards.
Yeah, but they'll get it if they get it. Anyways, this episode is going up on the 22nd of December. I'm pretty sure. My math.
Who's
is correct.
Anthony? Sorry.
Anyways,
I just thought of that.
Anyways, they might get that if they watched the last episodes. If they watched the one with Nico, they might get that. Anthony.
I don't know. I said that randomly. That was a random name I thought of.
Pretty sure that's somebody's drunk name, isn't it?
No.
You sure?
Because it's Benjamin.
It's in
Cornelius, and I don't know what yours is.
I don't either. Whatever. Anyways,
Miley.
Yeah. So it's the 22nd of December when you're watching this, probably, hopefully, anyways.
So Merry Early Christmas.
Merry Early Christmas.
As you can see.
Yeah.
Go Pack Go.
And that's why our names are Michael and George.
Yes. Wham. If you know that, if you know, you know.
Last Christmas. Best Christmas album of all time. Even though it was one song. Well, it was 2 songs, but it was one song.
Yeah.
A
banging song.
But it's the best.
Song.
It's the best.
Yeah.
I always call it the best Christmas album of all time, just so it can compete with Mariah Carey, because she had an actual album. Mm-hmm. But I still think they only needed one song to top it all. That's just the best Christmas song of all time. It's the only one that I listen to and I'm like, oh, every time.
Yeah.
It's the only one that I'm just in there and I'm like, yes, I love this song.
Such a good song.
Yeah.
Such a good song.
Yeah. But,
we also have Simon joining us today.
Yes, so this is Simon. He's in his emo phase at the moment.
Spit something.
Dude, you can't say that. Oh my God. Woo! He is cooking up a stew right now.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Can you put something for that? What can you put?
Sample some shit? Yeah. I can sample some shit. That would be funny as hell, actually.
We'll see. Get who do we make as Simon? Who do we get to do a voice?
Playboy Cardi. Should I just get some
our friend Playboy Cardi.
Should I just get some Playboy Cardi acapellas? Yeah. Just put it, that would be so funny. So maybe that'll happen. And also, I'll probably.
I feel like we should make him 6'9", 6'9".
Yeet.
Yay.
Yay. That'd be funny.
But yeah, I'm so demoralized right now.
Dude, this is tough. Like, recording half of an episode and then being like, oh, we didn't get any of that is honestly one of the worst feelings that I've experienced way too many times with this podcast.
Yeah, the hangover caught up.
Yeah,
so
you're also very hungover
shit right now.
So I'll take the point on the
most of the podcast
escape section right now.
Well, you had a lot more of the experience today with the drink and stuff.
True. Okay, so we went to Blue Bat Kitchen and Tequileria in the 3rd Ward of Milwaukee. Really cool place. Their kitchen is based, it's like world street food, and so they've got a bunch of stuff from all over the shop, essentially. Like, you go there, you're probably going to find something that you haven't seen before, and also something that you really like. And
because they got everything.
Yeah, so we started with appetizer of Brussels sprouts, which were really interesting. They had dried mango, like a creamy, like cheesy sauce. It was very kind of smoky, and there was pecans in there as well, but they were really good Brussels sprouts.
Yes, like the outer, I think, leaves.
Yeah,
is what they'd be called. Were crispy, almost like kind of melted.
Yeah. My guess is that they were steamed and then grilled, or like
some kind of charred,
like probably flat topped or something like that.
Yeah, very, very, very good. Juicy, not dry. Just tasted fantastic.
Really good.
My main dish was they were called bao buns. Well, it is a bao bun, but that's just what it's called on the menu. And it was like fried chicken. You'll have to cut that out.
Nice.
I didn't think it'd be that fucking loud. But I lost my train of thought. My chicken.
Brett, wake up.
It was
Brett.
like,
Brett.
My like.
Brett.
I was gonna say my skin is deteriorating.
Brett.
Wake up.
He's gone.
Wake up. No, I might take a nap in the car on the ride home.
We're driving on the way home.
I know. But yeah, I had like they were kind of like tacos, but it's a bao bun
tacos
with like a fried chicken. Couldn't tell you what the sauce was. I think it was like hirashi sauce. Look that up. I don't care.
I have no idea what that is.
I think there was a hirashi sauce on there somewhere. You could try looking it up.
I'm gonna look that up.
And then there was coleslaw. Curious. It wasn't barbecue. It's kind of like barbecue. Fantastic. The chicken, I said this in the earlier segment that we fucking missed. The chicken wasn't crispy, but it was crunchy. Like the ends and stuff in the outer portions just had a beautiful crunch to them. And, the bao bun was pretty thick. I don't know if you can even see that on the podcast or on the video, but it's about yay. If you're listening on Spotify,
it's about yay thick. If you're listening on Spotify, it was about yay thick.
I would say about a quarter of a bushel.
Yeah.
if you know what a bushel is. It's not a quarter of a bushel. It's
no,
much
not even
less
close. Yeah, but hilarious.
What other? There are only 2 measurement systems across the world: metric and standard.
Nah, I'm sure there's a million, but most of them aren't. Like massively adopted by cultures.
What I would say about the length of a jelly bean. Oh, people actually understand that. Damn it. What can I even?
Yeah, length of a jelly bean is actually kind of accurate too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty fucking close.
Yeah, that's pretty good actually.
But yeah, I mean they were really good. My only gripe is with the bao bun, the way it's not necessarily spongy, but it's like a soggy fluff. That makes it sound bad, but it's
not soggy. It's just like really doughy. It's like
doughy is the right word to
it's like
use.
Almost like a Play-Doh bun. Like it's really good.
Yeah, but it doesn't taste like Play-Doh.
Right. I would hope not. But that stuff tastes really bad. Have you ever eaten Play-Doh? Come on, we've all eaten Play-Doh at one point.
I don't think I have.
Really? You've never put Play-Doh in your mouth?
I bought a bottle of rum that tastes like Play-Doh though.
Why? What was it?
It's
call them out.
It's called Rondiaz.
Oh,
it's a spiced rum.
That shit sucks.
Oh god.
That stuff's so bad.
But yeah, it was good. Got stuck in the teeth. That's my only gripe. Otherwise, it was a fantastic dish. Now go. I'm gonna
so good.
Maybe throw up.
Oh.
I'm not actually. Don't worry about it.
Oh. It was so good. He's gonna throw up, so he can eat it again.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's the word to use.
Yeah, so you had the bao bun. It was delicious. I had the Creole. So you took a trip to what, like probably Vietnam. That's where I'm guessing bao buns are like from. That's my guess, Vietnam.
I don't know.
But somewhere around there probably. I had Creole, so I took a little trip down to New Orleans. New Orleans, one of my favorite spots actually, too. I mean, I say that like I've been everywhere, but I don't. I've been to like New Orleans and New York and like a bunch of places randomly on the East Coast and like Florida, and I do like New Orleans more than I like Florida, that's for sure. But yeah, so it was good. Shrimp on grits, like sauce. It was so
I
good.
realize that feels like a weird combo.
It does, doesn't it? But it tasted so good.
Huh. That is interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. That was really good. I had a cocktail.
Grits usually bang, so
Grits are so good. And it's so weird because I swear to God, people don't like grits. Like growing up, I swear people hated grits.
I've never had grits. I have no clue what you're talking about.
Really?
I think the first time I've ever had
dad
grits.
definitely had grits growing up, and he was like, grits. Grits.
Yeah.
But honestly, my dad would make grits. He would make, you ever heard of cocoa wheats? They're not grits technically, but oh my God. They're like this like oatmeal from the 90s or 80s or 70s maybe.
Interesting.
But basically it's kind of like grits, but it's like chocolatey. And you throw a bunch of sugar and butter in it, and you mix it up.
I might recognize that.
So good. I tried making it once when I was in my first semester at college, because I found them in the store, which was so weird because I hadn't found them anywhere out here for like the longest time. I was always looking.
Okay.
I tried making them, tasted like cheeks. Obviously, I don't got the sauce on that.
Makes sense.
I don't know how my dad makes them, but
Chocolate
he makes
grits,
it with
though?
magic.
Cheddar and grits, yeah. Chocolate grits?
Oh my God, I swear to God, it's the best. It's so good.
I don't know about that one, Chief.
I promise you, they're delicious. When made right. When I made them, they were terrible, but
Yeah. They also don't know how to make shrimp either.
I know how to make great shrimp. Shut up.
You just told me that you burnt the shit out of shrimp
I
recently.
overcooked the shrimp. I didn't say they were bad.
Oh,
they were
I
just
thought you said you
overcooked.
burnt them.
No, I didn't burn them. They were just a little chewier than I wanted them to be.
That's okay. I like a little
Crunch.
crunch.
Little crunch.
Mm-hmm.
I just remembered we forgot to get you ibuprofen. Do you want me to go do that? We might as well,
Yeah.
because it'll help.
I mean, I could. No, I won't do that. I was gonna chop it up and snort it. So
we're
it's
gonna do an
faster.
interesting thing where
I'm gonna stay.
We reverse the order of how this usually goes.
So
All right, everybody, I'm off for my usual shit. It's bread.
I don't. Do you usually include your monologues?
Yeah, actually, a lot of the time, because
I'll try.
yeah, man. I mean, you don't gotta say shit. I usually sit down here and I just ramble on the randomest shit.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'll see you in a bit with some ibuprofen.
I can't promise it'll be clean and or anything interesting, but I'll be here. Man, I episode. He said 9, but I think he's wrong. It's episode 8. It's episode 9 now. We didn't do an episode 8. That's the lost episode. You'll have to, I don't know, go to Frankfurt, Germany to find it. And if you find it, shoot us a text because we didn't put it there. So, yeah. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah, this Merry Christmas. I think we went over that. God. Oh, say, can you see? I don't know. My mind's kind of going crazy right now. I got a headache. Went to the bars last night. I still got a good 8 hours of sleep, but that started at 4 a.m. So it's my condition is deteriorating, ladies and gentlemen. So, ladies and plantains. But I don't know. It's good to talk to you guys. We get some one-on-one time or one-on-two because that's how many people watch our videos. But what else can I talk about? The Packers are doing well. Jordan Love, he's a quarterback. I'm a huge Packer fan. I could totally I shouldn't say that. I'd totally slob on his knob. That's all I'm going to say about that. But I love the Packers. Jordan Love, if you're watching this, I love you. Not in a weird way, but just like a brotherly love, like the brotherly shove. Yeah. So you're doing great out there. Keep balling because it's just what you do. How about this? Drop in the comments what foot? I don't know what to talk about right now. Oh yeah. What sock do you put on first on your feet? Is it the right or the left sock? I want to know. Drop it in the comments. Matt might not even he'll end up watching all this, so he will recognize this. But add it with your favorite meat, but you have to use the side meat and then put sock at the end. So, like for me, it would be left pork sock.
What?
Matt's going crazy right now because he has no clue what I'm talking about.
What?
You'll
so
get it when you watch the podcast.
Adorable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
Who's the person on the left?
Honestly, I don't even know.
Don't exist.
Nico wishes it was him. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm gonna say.
It was him.
That. It was him.
Well, Nico is him.
Left. He wishes he was the person to my left in that picture.
Oh, now I get it.
Anyways,
yeah.
so I've got you 4 ibuprofen.
Yeah.
Was debating on more, but it's kind of a lot.
I could probably take it.
I mean, you could. 4 is a good number.
I wasn't one of those
usually
kids in high school. I knew kids that would. We've talked about this on the podcast.
We've talked about this.
They would pop like 6 a day.
Oh yeah, I know. Oh, that was crazy.
Yeah,
I know. I've never really been one to take ibuprofen. I would take
maybe
1
once
to
a week.
2 on game days if I was like
Same.
really messed
Same.
up. But
Yeah,
a lot of the time I would just try to avoid it because I've taken ibuprofen maybe once this year.
yeah. So you gotta. By the way, you have to watch that segment because there was a good like minute where I was just sitting there like looking around. So
Hey, that's usually how it goes for me too.
yeah. Well, I just I started talking about stuff and then I was like lost my train of thought, and I think I got back onto it, and that's when you walked back in.
Wow.
So
And then we had like a long pork sock or something
Left
like that.
pork sock.
Left pork sock. What were we talking about?
well,
I think we were just getting through the food. Creole.
I think we finished it. We didn't talk about the vibe. That is one
Vibe
thing.
is great. Vibe is great. They've got 2
You're gonna
bars.
hate me for this.
An upstairs and a downstairs. It's right on the river, which is also really cool. I bet
yeah.
you if it wasn't dark, it would have looked really pretty in there.
True.
I've never
I don't
been
know.
there when it was.
I really like Milwaukee at night because it's very pretty, but I will say the vibe in there, not bad, but it just didn't strike me as like crazy awesome.
I think
Like I think it's better. Like it's on the lake, and like when we walked in, the table had like the silverware like crossed on top, which was cool. But there was nothing that really struck me as like awe-inspiring. Like the Seven Swans had that wall
Yeah.
and the chairs.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a restaurant. Like the Creperia, you're supposed to sit in there and have a coffee.
Right.
This place is a restaurant, and you're usually either conversing, sitting at the bar, that kind of thing. So it doesn't really need to have the strong vibe, but I don't know. I just don't
I feel
think.
you.
Not that it was bad. It just wasn't crazy.
Yeah.
and super.
I know what you mean.
Like,
Also, we did get sat next to a big ass pillar.
yeah, that's true.
Which was unfortunate. Like I couldn't see much of anything because it
Yeah.
was just like pillar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that wasn't the greatest.
Which is unfortunate, but
Yeah.
I mean, restaurants gotta have pillars somewhere.
Yeah,
You
well,
know,
that and-
buildings and that.
We just got thrown in the stick. Sucked, but who cares?
I mean,
Yeah.
it was a table for 2. The fact that we even got a reservation was kind of surprising.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know how reservations work.
For most restaurants, you're not getting a reservation unless you've got at least a party of 4. At least.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, unless it's like at peak times. At peak times, seeing as it's Saturday night, you're not usually getting a restaurant for like a reservation for 2 people like an hour before. Like you're just not. When they're expecting to be busy,
Yeah.
because then you're just not going to make the restaurant as much money. So like,
True.
You're gonna have
well,
to
that
wait,
and the tables
probably.
we were sitting at, there was next to us was a group of 4, but when they left and when we were about to leave, they moved that, like it was 2 tables. So that booth, it was like a booth and chairs.
yeah,
That booth was made for 3 different tables of 2 people.
yeah,
So like it makes sense that they took a reservation though.
yeah.
But yeah, there's nothing really we can jump into, but this is a story I wanted to tell you, and I've waited, and I mentioned it a little bit during segment alone. My bar story.
My head's getting hot.
Just take it off. There's a song about taking off clothes. I don't remember.
It's getting hot in here.
Not that one. He does talk about take your clothes off. So I went to the bars. I'm a young boy.
Young lass.
Of 21. Young and 21. And I haven't really been to the local bars by us. Only our big city of Milwaukee here. So, and I ended up, went to the bar, goofed around in an apartment, and I was heading back from my girlfriend's place. And there was a smaller fence with like a rock wall next to it. And I climbed the rock wall, which was easy because it's only about 3-4 feet. And the fence was 3-4 feet above that. So that was easy to get around. But once I got to the other side of the fenced area, it was about a 9-10 foot fence. And I look up, look down, look around, and there's no like good areas, but there was a gate. And I used like the crossbars.
Right, the crossbars are nice.
It was a chain link fence.
Yeah.
And I had Converse on, so I couldn't really like stick
your toes in there because they're not very malleable at the end.
Yeah, they're pretty hard because they have that like plasticky thing.
Yeah.
So I go to the thing and I get my foot up. I was surprised at how like efficiently I climbed this fence.
Oh yeah. Hey man, drunk athleticism is a crazy thing.
That's true. I was pretty drunk. Not enough to puke. We'll see if that turns out. But I was drunk enough to like not be sober.
Right.
And I climb this fence, and then I get over the fence, and I realize it's only chain link on the other side, and there's no bars. So I like look down. I'm about 10 feet up. I look down, and I'm like, we ball, and I just jumped. And I specifically jumped like straight down because it was like a few feet and then a curb, and it was kind of like muddy because it was raining the entire time I was walking back. So that probably helped me. I definitely could have torn something or broken a bone if it wasn't, but I jumped down and I like landed, and I definitely could have. I think my head just went about to where my knees were of like folding,
like a real bouncer on that one.
Yeah, like I flopped up. But I hit the ground and I like stumble back into the fence and I go, oh, stand up, grab the bag I was carrying, and walk back to my apartment.
Nice.
Yeah. But it was pretty funny. It was a tumble. So and I ruined my Converse because they're super muddy and I don't want to wash them. That they're old. So
fair enough.
I think I'm gonna either. Oh, I could hose them down.
Yeah, you can rinse them. I usually just like wash my shoes in the sink with a toothbrush and dish soap.
Yeah, but I ate it. It was kind of funny.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, the whole thing is I didn't want to walk the 2 minutes around this fence.
Right. Yeah, you jumped.
At that I was drunk and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna climb a fence.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
hey man, that's really good motivation.
And I had a good time, and I'm kind of in that mood again that I just want to climb stuff. I was never a tree climber as a kid, so that might be why. But yeah, I mean, what else can we freaking talk about now?
Quote of the day. I can jump into the quote of the day.
Go for it. I'm gonna rejuvenate. I gotta power back up. Charge.
Recharge. Reinvigorate. Oh God. Oh fuck. I don't know how to work my phone. Okay, the quote of the day. Man cannot remake himself without suffering, for he is both the marble and the sculptor. By Alexis Carrel, France, 1873 through 1944. I searched up full philosophical quotes on Pinterest, and that's how I found that. So that's just one, and that's one that I want to talk about actually because
Nico said that to me before.
Oh yeah, it's a stoicism quote.
Of course.
But I was thinking about it because I've been thinking a lot lately about change and how I've gotten to the place that I am, like mentally, physically, and spiritually, sort of. Like, I'm not a very religious person, but I still have a spirituality, of course, about me. And,
well, those are different things.
Yeah,
to me, actually,
I think they are, but I think a lot of people confuse them. Like,
well, I wouldn't say confused because they can go hand in hand. They're definitely correlated, but they're not caused.
Yeah, you're right. They do coincide like a little bit, but I don't think, in essence, like a spirituality means anything religious. It's more of so like a state of being, almost.
It's it's like the body mind, and the mind half is a spirituality. It's like, to me, spirituality is almost like the way you go about things, I guess.
Yeah.
Like that kind of unconscious. Granted, I think you can choose a spirituality, and I think there's a natural essence to it, but and your unconscious choices do not technically have that choice. That made no sense. I'm rambling.
I think spirituality kind of comes with like a lot of energy. It's kind of like an energy thing. It's like what you choose to surround yourself with and encompass in your life, and that kind of dictates your own spirituality.
Yeah, like your vibe.
Yeah, it's kind of more of like I said, like a state of being. Like if you're like somebody who's really into nature, it's an easy example that way. Like if you like spend a lot of time, in the grass or whatever, laying around, sitting around, hanging out in the woods, whatever. You're probably a very earthy, spiritual, like just like nature person. That's kind of the spirituality essence, I think, of it. That's kind of how I feel when it comes to spirituality. And you can get that with religion too. Like if you're very invested in like a church group, or like like going to mass or whatever on Sundays, or whatever. Like you are kind of like a very like Christian religious person. And that's kind of your spirituality. It's something that you kind of give off, I think, in ways, because of how you surround yourself, and you make those decisions to become that way. I don't think it's like a choice of where religion, like to be religious is kind of a choice where you're like, I believe in this. It's kind of like a belief, whereas spirituality is more so like the energy that you get because of that belief, or because of those choices.
Yeah, like your aura.
Yeah.
Which kind of gives off the vibe to other people, that showing and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel about spirituality. That's a cool little delve. I like that.
Yeah, that was one of the deeper ones.
Yeah, and we're still going.
A lot deeper than the last one.
Yeah, this quote's got more to it. The man, the sculptor, and the marble. How do you feel about that?
That's a hard quote. I mean, kind of
it's really good.
Goes back to like your choices in life, and how you decide to go about what you do. And, I don't know, motivation, yada yada. I can't really think deep right now.
Yeah, no worries. I'll take lead.
I'm thinking shallow.
You're thinking shallow. Well, guess what? You still gotta swim. The dog.
I'm floating, dude.
I'm floating. Catch me floating.
Right,
Catch me floating.
Can I swim?
I'm trying to survive.
Not right now.
I'm trying to survive.
My survival is floating.
Yeah, well, you cannot change without suffering. That's a big part. I think, I don't know exactly how true that is. I think it's very, very close to true.
What is suffering? That's the thing.
Well, suffering's anything. You could suffer mentally, physically, emotionally, everything. It doesn't really depend. It's all based on your own perception.
Is suffering always negative? You come out better.
I think suffering is negative in experience, but in effect, it can oftentimes lead to positive change. Suffering itself is negative, I think, because to be in a state of suffering is not a good thing. You don't want to be in a state of suffering.
Like
you want to experience a state of suffering and learn from it and grow and change because of a state of suffering, but you don't really want to be in the suffering part. But if it helps you achieve a goal, if it helps you progress, become a new person, I think it's worth it. But it's not something that you really want to be doing. If you asked me now if I wanted to be, locked in my dorm room for a month or like 3 months at a college in the middle of nowhere again, I would say no. I don't want to do that. I do not want to do that.
Yeah,
am I glad that
about
it happened?
yourself.
Yeah. Am I glad that it happened? And am I glad that I came out this side being the person that I am? Yeah. But I
did you enjoy it?
No, I did not enjoy it, an ounce of it. It was awful. But
did I enjoy the fact that I got drunk last night? Yeah. Do I enjoy the fact that I'm suffering right now?
No. But maybe that'll mean that you
Drink a Pedialyte next time.
you learn from it. Yeah, exactly. Dude, it's kind of weird. Is this 2 podcasts? No, this is not 2 podcasts in a row. You are drunk or hungover a lot when we were recording podcasts.
What was I hungover last time?
I don't think it was last time. It might have been the time before. But it was also the Halloween special.
Yeah, it was the Halloween special.
But there was one more, I swear.
It was like 4, I think. 3 or 4.
Yeah. Anyways. But yeah, what else? Yeah, I was just thinking. It was a weird thing. I had like this moment with my girlfriend the other night, and I was like, I had actually shown her my favorite movie of all time. We were watching.
Don't worry about it. We're not gonna talk about it.
What more could I mute? What the fuck?
God, the beeping.
That is insane. That is insane. My computer is muted. My audio interface is muted. My phone is muted. I don't know what's beeping. Why is it going off?
It's the Apple mouse.
Anyways, yeah, it's probably the Apple mouse. It's like, hey, just so you know, I'm still here.
You got
bitch.
notifications.
I'm still here, bitch. Check me. Check me. Check me. Fuck.
Your favorite movie?
Anyways, yes, The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Favorite movie. It's incredibly sad, actually. And what I realized was that I liked that movie a lot because of how relatable it was for me. Like the main character, and his experience. It was very akin to what I've experienced in my life.
Yeah,
and
it spoke to you.
Yes, incredibly, and that's why it's my favorite movie of all time. It's incredibly sad.
Makes sense.
And I always end up crying while watching that movie every time. And we didn't actually make it through the whole movie because I was like collapsing in all like essence of energy and mental like just like stability. Like halfway through, I was like, this is weird. I feel bad.
Yeah.
And but yeah,
it's good to be sad sometimes.
It's very important, I think, especially for me. I think because of how much time I've spent being sad in my life, it's nice to like to go back in and come back out, at every time, because I've become so adverse to sticking in that sort of range. Like
Trying to stay out of it.
I really understand a lot about my own mental well-being now because I've like been struggling with it for so long that I've gone back and forth and in and out, and I've learned so much that it's become much easier for me. And I learn something every time, like
yeah.
I learned, like she put it in perspective for me, like how much I've changed since I was like the person that related to the movie so much. Like I really don't relate to it that much anymore. I feel very different. I know my past self did. I certainly did. And when I watched that movie, I remember being my past self and I remember relating to that movie. But now I'm not that person anymore. And it's a weird thing because it's like, I think this analogy with marble is very very encompassing, because if you think about it, if you start with like a block of marble and that's you at life, at birth, you're like just a big old rectangle cube thing of marble, and you're just chipping away, and that's you growing and changing, and eventually at the end of your life you become your full statue. Like that's like, if that is the way that you think about it, that's a really, really beautiful analogy for it. Because even all these changes that you're making, all these things that you're learning, even at our age, it feels like we're becoming like an adult, and that's kind of like the stage. That's like, it feels like the way that people always put it. It's like you're like a child and you're an adult, and there's not really anything after that. That's the weird part. And that like sort of mindset makes it so like you're supposed to. It feels as though you're supposed to have everything figured out, and it feels like you're supposed to be, complete, or like most of yourself by the time you're 20 or whatever, which is just completely unrealistic and entirely
well, I mean,
stupid.
Your brain's not even formed,
right? Yeah, and
you have even like, especially it's funny going back to like, I guess we didn't talk about it for this one, but the way people grow up now compared to even 30 years ago, like there are people like, this isn't 30 years ago, well, some people, but a century ago, people would get married at 16, 17, We think about up until now being married for 3 years. 3 years.
I don't know what the fuck that would entail, but I would not be the same person at all.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder.
And it's crazy. Granted, like marriage isn't the end all be all, but
right, but I wonder
that feels like an adult thing.
Yeah, it really feels like you should be able to find yourself first.
Exactly.
Before engaging in that sort of commitment to another person. Actually, I was listening to a podcast recently about, and it was kind of about relationships with something. The example was actually a relationship. This guy who came on the podcast, the guest was, actually one of the guys from Yes Theory, Matt. And he was talking about, he's quit Yes Theory now, I think. So he's not actually part of it. But Yes Theory, you've heard of them, right?
No.
Really? Okay, so they're this big, massive YouTube channel that started in 2014. And they blew up and they were massive in 20.
What do they do?
2018. They basically just did really random things. It was Yes Theory. They would just do things that you wouldn't expect. They would just do crazy things.
Elaborate more.
I honestly wish I could, but I don't actually know of any very specific examples. But I'm trying to search my memory, but it's really not coming to me because I don't watch much.
Keep going.
Anyways, but he was talking about how he had to an hour.
I'm deteriorating fast.
I know.
I'm getting dizzy.
I know. I'm sorry, bruv. Okay.
Not you to be sorry
20 more
about.
minutes.
It's my fault.
Yeah, but
which is weird.
I hate to see you in this way.
That's right. I think I'm gonna pull the trigger before I head home.
Yeah, I feel you. I pulled trig after our Mexican dinner the other week. I got home. I had put down 2 margs, bro, or a marg and a pina colada,
That's not a lot, though.
I know, but I had to get up at 5 a.m. I had to get up at 5 a.m. for work. I wasn't expecting to, and I had eaten so much food. I felt so sick. I was like, all right, man, I'm just going to go to sleep. I didn't make it to sleep until 11:30 because I couldn't fall asleep, but I ended up with 4 hours of sleep. And then I worked a 10-hour shift, and I was like, fuck, man, this is crazy. I was there for 10 and a half hours.
Yeah.
I was at work starting at 6:30 a.m., 10 and a half hours. It was awful. Sucked.
See my hand shaking?
Yeah.
Can't stop it.
No frat, dude.
Yeah. Don't worry. I'll survive.
Yeah, we've only got 20
I
minutes.
haven't died yet, so
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever will.
You'll probably survive. So you haven't
Yeah.
died or whatever. That's how that works or something.
No, I mean I'm 1,500 years old, so
Yeah.
I just said I was 21. Darn it.
You're a tortoise, dude. Age is just a number. Unless, there's some legal ramifications.
Unless your name is Jeff.
True.
No, actually, the age is not just a number.
Yeah, it is. Unless
there's a lot of connotations.
Unless you imply legal ramifications to certain relationships between people of different ages, then it's not a number. But for the most part, if you're just thinking about a person,
to make sure we're covering our bases.
Yeah, I'm not gonna advertise. I'm not gonna condone that. That would be that's not a thing I condone.
We ain't no Josh Giddies out here.
No, not gonna condone that. Thanks.
Do you know who that is?
Thanks. I actually have no idea.
He's a basketball player, and apparently he slept with a 17-year-old girl.
That sucks.
And he's 25.
It's fucking weird, man.
Really? I didn't even think of that. Yeah, you're kind of right. That's kind of weird.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
No, yeah. No, yeah. I mean, unless if you don't that's so weird how people always think about that when you say that phrase,
Mm-hmm.
but that's just because that's the phrase that use.
What?
Age is just a number. That's just the classic
It just sucks
phrase.
that that's the connotation.
Yeah, I know, but in reality, age is just a number. If you just think about a person,
yeah,
and you think about them growing, and what's the difference between them at 20 and 25? Sure, they've gone 5 more trips around the sun, but what's the difference between 20 and 25 in 2 different people? It's this person's at one stage in their life when they're 20, and the other person's at a different stage entirely when they're 20. Yeah. And then when they both reach 25, they're both at completely entirely different stages again. And it's sure, they've both lived 25 years on this earth, but neither of them are the same. neither of them have experienced the same amount of things or the same type of things. And sure, they're 25, but that really doesn't mean anything. Like, it really doesn't. Like, a lot of people, like, have, like, these goals that they set for themselves to reach by an age, and society does too, because, like, once you graduate high school, you're 18, 19, you're supposed to go to college or whatever. You graduate college or whatever, you're like 22 or whatever, 23.
You get a job,
and that's when you're supposed to get a job, and then afterwards you get a thing, and it's like all these numbers that are set sort of by, like, societal guidelines, and you're like, I don't know if any of that really makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on the person, though.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
It's like it'll totally work for a lot of people. It'll totally work for some people, but there's other people that it won't work for. It's not gonna, like, not everybody can be super, like, ready for marriage at 25 or whatever.
Yeah.
28, whatever. Like, not everybody's gonna be ready for a kid at 30. Like, that's just how it goes. That's very true. And it's weird that there's so much, like, pressure on it, kind of.
Blame the baby boomers.
Yeah, the baby boomers, man. Those guys suck.
Now we're gonna start shitting on the baby boomers because they deserve it.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, man. I'm just
hippies.
The hippies were the worst, man. Actually, being a hippie would kind of have been like the
that would have
sickest.
slapped. Yeah,
that would have been the sickest thing ever.
Living like a hippie would be cool, but, like,
so sick.
Thing is, like, the stereotypical hippie is I don't know, degenerate, basically.
Right, but that's the hippies these days. Back
stereotypical. In the 70s, they.
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess they were kind of degenerates too, but they were only degenerates because, like, society claimed them to be.
Well, that and also, like, it's the stereotype.
Right. It's also possible that they were the most enlightened of all beings. Like.
I don't think so. I think you got to give that to Socrates.
Yeah, I mean, true, but.
Or Muhammad. I probably should have said Jesus first, but.
Jesus? I don't know if Jesus. How enlightened do you think Jesus was? We don't got any quotes.
Well, he's literally God. What do you mean we don't have quotes?
We don't got any quotes like that, though.
There's a whole damn book.
Yeah, but, like, when do you... There's a whole damn book for, like, all these philosophers, man. But, like, when do you like, look up a quote and have a quote that Jesus said? Unless you're looking specifically for a Jesus quote.
True. Well, the thing is, you don't call it a quote, you call it a Bible verse.
No, you call it a verse. Yeah, I guess. You're right, you said that. I thought
Let's not in the theological conversation, although I find it crazy interesting. We just won't touch on that.
I find it interesting, but I feel like we're going to argue about it, and I don't want to do
totally. That. And I would never judge you for it. Well, I don't know if I'd argue, because the thing with me is, like, I have my faith. I love my faith, but I would never put it on to somebody. If you asked, I would educate, well, the best I can, because I'm kind of stupid. If you didn't realize, kind of dumb. But
that's funny.
Like, if anyone ever wanted to theologically argue with me, I can't. But again, I have my faith.
Right.
Like, am I ever gonna say to someone, "You're going to hell"?
I think it's a stupid thing to argue about, especially because like I'm not, like, I don't believe in that, but I understand why people do, and I understand, like, that everyone's beliefs are valid because they come from their own head. There's nothing that you can say to somebody else to be like, you should believe elsewise, or wow, that was a stupid word. You should believe something else because of this, and the success rate on any of that is so minute. Like, it's almost impossible to convince somebody else to change their beliefs, and that's because it's not up to you.
You want to hear my take on that? I'm gonna piss off some Christians here. So, the very first book of the Bible. God, I
Genesis.
can't get into this. What is the like big thing that God does with humans?
He makes them out of mud or whatever.
No. Well, I mean, yeah, but He gives us the choice. Right?
Yeah.
God never says you have to follow me.
Right.
Right? You like that you don't have a choice.
Right.
So if God is going to give someone the choice to eat the apple right?
Yeah.
He doesn't say, "Oh, the apple's off limits," and he guards it. He said, "Hey, that apple, you shouldn't eat it, but you have the choice to." So like God's like giving us the choice is, I think, one of the most important things in the Bible, because now that I'm sitting here telling, I'll use you for an example. You're going to hell, yada yada. You don't have a choice. But the whole point is he gave you a choice. So the fact that I'm saying you don't have a choice
is sacrilegious.
Sacrilegious because you're saying you're better than God. And I'm going to piss off a Christian by saying that, but
yeah,
fight me.
But some of them aren't the best Christians.
Because that's what it feels like. Like, you have to do this. No, you don't. You have the choice.
The whole...
I'm going to choose my faith. You choose yours.
Yeah, religion's a weird topic.
Yeah.
It's a powerful thing.
And it's interesting.
And it's very interesting. And I like the... I want to dive more into the history of it. Not like the actual religion itself, but I want to dive more into like the stuff...
the spirituality of it is what makes it interesting to me.
Yeah, I want to dive into like the whole etymology of it. Like where actually did the Bible come from, and like how did all of that stuff arise? Like I just want to know, like, because I there's no way that's as cut and dry as people believe it to be. Like there's no way that is. And I've heard of some things.
You can interpret. The problem with the Bible is it's so vague.
Yeah, and I've heard a lot of things already, but I don't want to voice them because I'm probably gonna misremember them, and I don't want to like like spit some garbage and like make a ton of people angry at me for no reason because I misremembered something. But I just want to at some point dive more into that. It's not gonna be anytime soon. Probably I'm incredibly busy.
That'll be our other podcast. Your other pod. Who cares?
It probably will be, actually, yeah. I'm actually thinking about making a solo podcast. That's my next one. I've got 3 podcasts, and I'm producing K's right now. So...
It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm working on mine.
They're fun, man.
They're great.
They're a great medium.
Mm-hmm. They're great, and I have a lot of things to say.
But you got to listen to the best one in the world. Which is what you're listening to right now. Or watching.
It's precisely what you're listening to right now.
Yep.
The best podcast in the world. The Midwest Basement Escape. We are 8 minutes out from 7 something. From
what else
reaching our guideline. I don't know. Want to hit a hypothetical? Do you have any hypotheticals on that? Because I suck at this.
No. God, no. If you could change one event in human history, what would you change?
That's a really hard question.
You're going to find... Well, my guess is kind of cheating, but...
I mean, there's a lot of obvious answers that I know people would go for, like the Holocaust and, like, I don't know what else.
Here's a hot take.
Hold on. Fuck.
I think changing the Holocaust would be a bad idea.
I also...
And not for the fact... Like, I'm not a fucking Nazi or nothing.
Right. I also don't think that would be the best idea. Honestly... Like, obviously, if I could change the fact that so many people died and suffered and like that,
exactly.
I would change that. But I would have to erase the Holocaust from ever existing, and then we wouldn't have, like, the UN and, like...
Well, I mean, if you say that, then you technically have to say, like... You'd get rid of the First World War, if you want to. Well, I guess more people died in the Holocaust, but...
Yeah.
Like, it's that, what about this? What about this?
Yeah, that's the whole...
Technically,
that's the whole problem with that question. It's like...
Yeah. If you want to save lives like that, wouldn't you get rid of the meteor that killed dinosaurs?
Mm-hmm.
But like, what would that turn into?
Yeah, it's that's the problem with that question. It's like you could change whatever you want, but you have no idea what that would change. It's the butterfly effect. Like it literally is the butterfly effect because it's the smallest thing that will change so much, and that's something you can't predict. So like,
I'm saving Harambe.
Oh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
But then we would never have dicks out for Harambe, and that would be a sad world to live in.
Shit, yeah.
I would probably change man. God, I don't know. There's my brain. Oh no. I'm yawning too, man. Man, we are finished, bro. This is This has been a tough episode.
This has been a slog.
Yeah.
This one's beating us down.
Absolutely.
Ooh, maybe I'd.
finito.
This feels kind of shallow, but maybe I'd save Kobe.
Yeah. I would say that's. I mean, valid.
Right?
I mean, it's recent. I think it's valid because of the recency
so
of it.
heartbreaking.
The recency of it also helps because there's less things for it to change. There's less unknown, but less variable.
Yeah, that's kind of why the Harambe thing.
Yeah, it's like you kind of need to pick something new because if you pick something that like old, like if you pick something 50 years ago, you could change the whole world and you would have no idea how. So like, what's the point of racing it? You know?
No, I'm changing my answer. This is my final answer. I would get rid of the movie Skyline from ever being made.
Why?
Because it's the worst movie of all time.
I would probably change the DARE program from ever existing.
Oh, but those Dare shirts are sick.
The DARE shirts are sick. But I want people to like be able to treat themselves for like mental health problems without like modern pharmaceuticals, which often aren't the most helpful for a lot of people.
Yeah, I guess, but
obviously there are exceptions. But
well, a lot of the Dare went with, I guess there was a lot of marijuana, but I think to me Dare is tobacco.
No,
crack.
not that's not what it used to be. It was, well, the DARE program, I guess, is that, but the whole war on drugs type thing, which spawned the DARE program, the war on drugs type thing was kind of everything. It was more so an attack on the hippies, to my understanding. It was actually like, yeah, it was drugs. No, but the FBI. Put
the government
crack,
says that shit. Didn't
yeah,
they?
the FBI put crack into the lower income neighborhoods. It wasn't a crackdown on crack. It was a like crackdown on like the black population or whatever and shit. And then it was like, oh hey, we gotta fix this now because we're stupid. You know, it was a crackdown on crack, but it also wasn't. It was like controlling. It was controlling of the hippies and the people that were facing up against the government and all that. Yeah. So that was dumb.
How are we looking at time? What if we do a 53-minute episode?
We could do a 53-minute episode.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna end the podcast there because this shit fucking sucks.
Yeah, Brett's hungover, so
I'm suffering.
We're gonna end this podcast.
I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna yak all over his floor.
Sick, dude.
But to end off the podcast, I'm not even looking at you guys. I don't want to. But my final message is to never trust the government.
And my final message is to keep chipping away at that sculpture. It's not complete, even if you want it to be. So, yeah, you still got moves to make. Changes, growth, whatever. Anyways, thanks for watching the Midwest Basement Escape. Follow the podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Please.
Follow us on Instagram for the extra bonus content where you get to see the
TikTok.
food that we eat. And a little bit of vlog time, a little, on our TikTok as well.
A little bit of birds.
A little bit of birds, a little bit of vlogs, a little bit of the adventure, the escapes.
Imagine the whole Instagram account is just a bird watching Instagram.
But yeah, anyways, thank you very much for watching. This has been
George.
And Michael. Thanks.
Thanks for coming.
Love ya. Ciao.